Hero, you have been chosen. Don't be alarmed as your transformation begins.
And the commission!
Your armor will be highly advanced. Your weapon cutting edge. Darkness is spreading.
Tell me, what's your
Now
plan?
rise,
The other
Guardian.
dragons must
Then
migrate to the
fight
new world
for
for
the
some
light.
reason. After running the research commission for 40-odd years, the guild's itching for an answer. They say the Fifth Fleet's got the best shot at cracking this case, and I agree.
Keep it down. Hey, speaking of, A-listers usually operate in teams of 2. Have you sat down with your partner yet? Listen to that. Rough out there. Waves are picking up. That's gotta mean landfall.
Welcome back, Warriors, to the Light of the Guardians detail segment. You heard correctly. We're collaborating with Destiny, and we're so excited to show and tell everything about this event. It's going to be awesome. A big thank you again to Bungie for this collab. Joining with me today are JC and Marina. How are you both doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good. Do you like my costume?
I love your costume.
We're cooking.
You're cooking hardcore. I think we should put you in charge of everything now. So you can just like cook everything.
I got the cosign from JC.
Yeah,
so
that's
you know
all
it's
good.
real.
Yep.
JC, why don't you break down the seasonal roadmap for us?
Yes. So let's have a quick look at it. It pops up. Max. There we go.
There
so
we go.
Quick recap for Title Update 1. So we've had the new Battle Pass and Legacy Pass, seasonal events, a song for Gunmunder, a new hero skin, which was Gunmunder. We had Hero Fests, throwback events for the Rebellion Rescue. We had a new converted map, which was super awesome, and Testing Grounds, which we'll talk about a little bit later, super quickly, but it should be good.
Okay.
And now for Title Update 2. So we have the Light of the Guardians event that is starting tomorrow, October 24th, right? With new hero skins also launching tomorrow. There's skins.
Oh.
I see, like, I'm not mispronouncing things too much, so that's good. Then there's like Hero Fest. We have Griffin, Tiandi, and Yorm with the dates that we see there. And as well as a new throwback event, which is Rebellion Pillage on November 21st.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's very exciting. So let's jump into it. You know, this event is called Light of the Guardians and is indeed a Destiny 2 inspired For Honor Halloween event. This is essentially For Honor cosplaying as Destiny.
Yeah,
so
more or less, right?
Super exciting. Let's jump into the narrative side of things. So, an eerie dark fog from an alien world covers Heathmore. The fog has raised a dead berserker known as Scorn Baron and corrupted several other warriors called Scorn. A solitary ghost has chosen you to fight back. Let's get into it. So you may have noticed in the trailer, we have not one, but two hero skins. Two new hero skins. These
Two new hero
so
skins.
good. A big thank you to Destiny for this collab. So yeah, we have the Violet King. This is for Lawbringer.
Yo.
And just looks awesome.
Yeah.
These are inspired by Saint 14 and Lord Shaxx.
Yeah.
We also have,
Look amazing. Like, honestly,
they
like
look great.
Is that is that Valkyrie?
They look like they look like, even though it's a hero skin, right?
Yeah.
Like you look for Lawbringer, for example, right? It looks like a Lawbringer.
No, that's
with a
Centurion.
slight Destiny.
The Crucible
Right.
Lord.
And I like what you said
that looks
about
kind of cool.
it's almost like it's foreigner characters cosplaying.
Bro, what is going on?
Destiny characters.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah. It's very interesting, you know, to see how two styles merging together,
Exactly,
like
yeah.
medieval and futurism. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
It was really like bridging. I guess sci-fi and medieval is not something you usually see, but
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
we've executed. It looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? And so a lot of what we've been doing is like we've tried to really gave those skins and those characters like really the For Honor treatment, right? Like I was talking about. So it's still clearly Lawbringer and Centurion,
Yeah.
but with really a Destiny flair that's super awesome. And then the For Honor armor usually isn't like super fresh, super polished, super nice. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of have that aesthetic in For Honor that is not super common. And really, it's like, it feels super different. We stepped out of our comfort zone really to get something different.
Yeah.
We wanted to really deliver a really unique look, really unique skins. That's what hero skins are all about, right?
Of course.
Doing something really different, really unique. and to really bring the flavor and the taste, right? Because you're cooking
course,
of Destiny, but within the For Honor universe, and having people be able to experience that. Super psyched.
Exactly. Yeah, so of course these hero skins have taken heavy inspiration from Destiny, but are not one-to-one. But you'll notice that the armor actually has the Knights faction engraving embedded into the armor. You could see there, like the orange part. It looks really, really nice. The intention here was really to ground, them within the For Honor universe and create new personas like the Violet King and the Crucible Lord.
Amazing.
Awesome. So you can pick these up for $14.99 each, or 31,250 steel. Or we also have a bundle where you could pick up both for $24.99 USD. Awesome.
Yeah.
We also have a free event pass for the duration of this event from October 24th to November 14th. So let's take a look at these rewards. So we really wanted to, bring the mood and of Destiny and Halloween For Honor all together. Really wanted to provide a unique experience, so you can see like these different items here. We have the ornament here, Scorn Nemesis. We also have a mood effect, map of Destiny. It's great.
A little bit of sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Get some of the weapons.
Oh yeah, Prepotentis.
Yeah.
I think I said that right.
But I think what's super awesome here, right, is that you look at the texture work, you look at like how we've kind of done it, and it's like that kind of material kind of like exists within Destiny, but definitely not within.
Yeah, for sure.
It really gives it that super
Look at that
unique
blade.
look. The weapons look amazing. They have that kind of like sheen, those like that purplish glow.
Yeah.
It's so unique. It's so different, and I'm excited because we bring a lot of customization options for players.
For sure, for sure. It's definitely, it's a really good opportunity to loot this kind of material because, as you said, it's not something that's usually in For Honor. Like these, all these like deep purples and oranges. Like it's not something that you usually see. So now's your chance.
Awesome.
So let's take a look at the in-game realization next. So we've got the landing page with Destiny theme music with your boys back to back.
Yeah.
Looking so cool. Oh yeah, I love the
Ghost,
ghost.
I mean, it's
Some
it's
fog as well in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks really good. We also have the minions. The shields are my favorite. Like the glowing part of the shield.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this looks so cool. Oh yeah, we have a face-off screen. Mr. Sohail on the right. Podium screen. Looks awesome.
amazing, yeah.
Of course, our world map. And we also have some map realization. So Marina, why don't you tell us about it?
Sure. So we know a lot of players have noticed, this mysterious fracture in the sky in the Dominion maps.
We knew what it was about.
I know. And we've seen a lot of speculations
Yeah.
online. So what is it? Of course, it's a teaser that we have placed for the Halloween event. And it's like a tear that has suddenly opened up between two different realms, Destiny and Hismar. And the main idea we explored for the artistic direction is that this dark and mysterious dark and it comes to our world and it's trying to find its place, it's trying to kind of establish itself, and as a result, it brings some imbalance and disruption, and it manifests itself in different shape and form. So one of them, you will see this kind of electromagnetic field that tearing everything apart. So this is why there are a lot of like levitating, hovering objects in the map.
The map
Like
looks
especially
interesting.
look
I'll say
over
that.
there. We just missed it. And
I'm not really a Destiny fan though.
also it does a little bit of
Never played a
terraforming.
Destiny game,
So
so
you guys noticed in the Vista, now we have like a completely different landscape. It's a little bit extraterrestrial. And the most important thing, now we have this kind of spooky, eerie fog in the map that is spreading from the cathedral to the rest of the map, kind of contaminating everything. And players who are familiar with Destiny, they know it's dark ether. And what it does, it raises the dead. So now we have a lot of undead creatures running around and kind of lurking, hiding in the map.
So this is
Yeah.
this is like a Halloween event. So it did have to be a little. We had to bring
Oh,
the
okay.
spookiness.
I
Yeah,
get
of
it.
course.
It's a Halloween
We had
event.
to bring the spookiness.
Yeah.
makes sense.
You want to tell us more about the creatures, maybe? Tell us more.
So they mostly hiding in the cathedral because they made it their lair They feel very comfortable there, you know, like decorated the place and everything. So they're not gonna give it up that easily. And you really have to like fight in order to get in.
Yeah, like we'll go over it a little bit more when we talk about the game mode itself. But really, like what we've done with having those kind of like creatures, the Scorn, they're trying to block the entrances to the cathedral so that you can't just go in because they're there. They're kind of protecting the Scorn Baron there. That's in the back. That's kind of like trying to hide there and like figure things out. So really, you have that entire process of they're getting raised, they're blocking the entrances, and they're really trying to protect things. So it makes for a really different feeling there as well. It's super interesting.
Definitely like a unique event within For Honor.
Yeah.
For sure.
And yeah, just wanted to mention as well that since this force is really destructive, like it needs to be stopped. So we need to do everything to kind of stop it from spreading further. And we encourage players to kind of explore the map. Like don't get stuck in one area, because we have tried to make it interesting for everyone. And there are a lot of like little secrets. For example, the fog. It raises not only the dead, but something else.
Easter eggs.
And there are Easter eggs. There are other Easter eggs as well.
Nice.
So I hope players will have fun, because everyone in our team had a lot of fun working on this event.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so different.
It's super different. Like we'll go over it again a bit more in detail in a little bit, but the event is super different. The gameplay in it is different. We're trying something new, but even like on the realization side, like everything kind of meshes super well together to create something cohesive that still feels Halloween, but has the Destiny vibes to it. It's we're all super proud of this. Like you're like your team did an amazing job making sure that like everything looked perfect there. On the gameplay side, we're trying to make sure the event is super interesting and everything kind of meshes super well together. It's amazing.
Yep. We want to congratulate everyone from the artistic team, like visual effects, animation. Everyone did really well, and I mean, we really enjoyed it. So we hope players will enjoy it.
Well, thank you for coming on and breaking it all down for us. Folks, that's not all. We also have, for the first time, a community event order. So you could play this event and win exclusive rewards by participating in the community stretch order with 3 different milestones. So just by playing the event, you don't need to win or lose. You're just you're contributing. So milestone 1, you get 2,000 steel. Milestone 2, 2,000 steel with an XP boost, and then milestone 3, you get all of that with an ornament called Ghost Trophy.
Yeah, so it's really different too. Like for those milestones, it's just play as much as you can, and it kind of contributes to the overall pool, and you'll be able to get like these different rewards. We really try to build it towards like making sure people play it as much as possible and participate. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. At the end of the day, what's important is that you play and you have fun and you get into it. So this is a big part of it as well. It rewards you for just playing. That's one of the things that we're trying to really push forward for this.
For sure. So everyone's like really working towards the same goal.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, thank you both very much for coming on and then breaking down all the details for us. Stick around. We're going to be showcasing all the free event pass weapons because they look awesome.
They do.
For the next segment. So, Max, take it away.
Okay, I will say the weapons, they actually do look cool. Your favorite color is purple. You're gonna love this little collaboration here. There's a lot of purple going on. Look at that sword right there. That Highlander's greatsword, Claymore, Shaman. The weapons are all pretty decent. Orochi and Kinsei's blade, they look very similar actually. I don't know, guys. I'm not a huge Destiny fan. Never really played the games or anything like that. Don't really know much about the game. But I will say the purple and the blue aesthetic looks kind of interesting. Got pirate sword. Oh man, Ocelotl. This club, mace thing, whatever you want to call it. Yo, what is the actual name for that thing? Interesting, Ubisoft.
Welcome back, Warriors, to the animation and VFX segment for Light of the Guardians. Joining with me today for the first time are Michelle and Fred. Super excited to have you both on. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, you?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I feel good in this. I like it. Thank you. Why don't you guys introduce yourself before we get into everything?
I'm a gameplay animator. Been for a long time, and I've been on the awesome Foreigner team for the last 2 years.
Hey, I'm Fred. I'm a VFX artist for close to 2 years now on For Honor, and yeah, primary effects artist for this event.
Okay.
You want to maybe reintroduce? I think your mic cut out a little bit.
I'm still Michel. I'm gameplay animator for a long time, and I've been on Foreigner the last 2 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for introducing yourselves. So we have a bunch of awesome stuff to show, that were made in association with this event. Everything from map VFX to executions to emote. Why don't we take a look at some of them? We lean pretty hard into the sci-fi side of things this time around, since it's Halloween. Want to step into the fantasy a bit more. It's not something we traditionally do, but please tell us what it was like to create this stuff. Let's look at the executions first.
Yeah, we inspired ourselves not once but twice.
Oh my god, bro! I love the execution.
Yeah, and
yo, the bow.
we're using the Destiny elements to.
Yo, I gotta get the bow.
But we're still keeping it close
Holy
to
crap.
Foreigner, team-wise.
I
As
love
you can
that
see, this one is
execution.
it's called the Void Feather, and this one can
10 out of
ledge
10.
Oh,
because the arrow is made of void energy. So, and as well that because our stunts really throw themselves into mats. So.
Yeah, no, for VFX, on these ones we get to have a lot of fun.
nice.
Because it's usually stuff that we don't really do on For Honor, to have all this space magic kind of happening. And yeah, so we really like to play with all the
Oh, man.
bright colors, all
Yo,
the
that looks
swirly
nice too.
energies and stuff like that. It's really something that we can push to the front there instead of doing our usual.
Dang, bro, Foreigner's about to be lit.
Yeah, these look just amazing, honestly. It's really nice. I love the sci-fi look. We also have an emote called Poultry Power.
Yeah.
I need to know, did we use a chicken for mocap?
No chicken available. Sadly, we would have, but no, we had a lot of ideas, but the chicken was a no-brainer. Like it's a team favorite.
You just eat an egg, bro.
And I really dig the neat holographic look that.
Like shell and everything.
It looks
Oh
really
yeah, we had a lot of fun. On
Straight out the
effects for
chicken?
these ones, especially for the poultry with all the holographic, like bright colors, very emissive, shiny, and even elsewhere on other content, we have all these geometric shapes and all these bright tones and these like see-through holographic materials, and I think it blends very well with what we have.
That's
so,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
for sure. We also have the Ghost and the Chosen, free roam emote. Looks awesome. Can you tell me more about the animation? With
Yeah,
the
little
ghost itself?
ghost like needed to animate by hand. It's like 9 bones of. It's really nice to animate.
I'm so gonna use that on
something like
Ezio.
It's different and it adds a lot of character. This little thing. in
Assassin's
the scene
Creed
adds
emote.
A lot of character. So
Yeah.
we try to reproduce that in our game. So we use it there and there, tell a story in some emotes and other places.
Yeah, and it's not only it's not only your closest companion; it also matches with your colors. So
So that
anytime you equip it,
the color
emote,
swatch
yep,
matches to the. Oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah,
I like that.
100%.
Awesome. We also have a new signature, Transmat. This looks great. Jumping out of the void, out of the void into battle.
Yeah,
Nice.
That is a new podium, I think. But also, what we did is we added a new feature in the game, which is in this event when you're gonna respawn. You're gonna respawn using the transmit power.
Dang,
if you
bro.
want to have a good look at the animation, you can like let it play, look cool, awesome, and everything. Or as soon as you land, you can start sprinting and go and charge to battle.
Nice. So you can hit the ground running.
Yes.
Hit the ground and just go straight in.
And die again. Come back. Yeah, that's a cycle of life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you want to add anything in particular?
Oh, I mean, it's been a challenge for really hiding the characters and
For
everything
sure,
like that, having the camera fit, everything like that. But it really gives that good timing, that snappy. Like when you start running, you can just interrupt whatever's going on, but everything's already happened.
Yeah.
You're just there.
Yeah.
For sure. So speaking of spawning and stuff, which looks great, we saw a bit of this new spawn effect in the trailer with like the Scorn kind of like. Oh yeah, there it is. Thanks, Max. What was the process to actually make that?
Well, when we were doing spawn animations for the players, we said like, why don't we try to for the spawn animations for Scorn, the enemies, the minions? So at mocap we discussed like how to give this type of feel, like the Halloween creepy zombie feel. So we brought the idea to play the animation reverse, so that it feels like eerie, supernatural. So we came to the stance with this idea of playing it, play the animation, act
Hey, bro, you seen that
as a
backflip?
zombie, and throw yourself backwards, and we would like inverse the animation. So the feel it gives, it's a really good feel of like a little bit like anti-gravity, like the map, the flow, and everything. So that's the animation playing in one side. We're gonna see it in the other, playing in reverse. I love the way it ended up looking. Yeah. It adds a lot. Those minions are always coming back.
Yeah,
but they're nice too. They're a wall. They're a burden, but it's nice to see them respawn and really dig the feeling. I like to see them spawn together with the VFX.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seeing them spawn all together is like, yeah, there we go. They look like one big monster, honestly. It's super cool. Those guys are seriously athletic, by the way. For being able to do a backflip just standing, that's pretty.
Yeah,
Really fun to
right,
watch them
bro.
walk out.
Yeah.
That's,
For sure.
He was flipping.
Awesome.
It was nice.
Well, thank you both very much for coming on. Did you want to give any special shout outs?
Yeah, special thanks actually to the mocap crew. Like they're like it's so fun to work with. Guillaume, Maria, Pascal on GPP side to help us with the tech, and Andre on test. animation, there's Vanessa, Eduardo, Amélie, and of course Fred. Thanks a lot.
Well, thanks to you. And on my side, I want to shout out Jordan, Marina, Steph, Chris, Kim, rest of the FX team, and also, yes, Guillaume and everybody who helped us on the tech side was an immense help.
Awesome. Well, man, I want to thank both of you for coming on. I hope to see you back on the den very soon. For you at home, stick around because after this, we'll get more details on the event game mode. So stick around. Take it away, Max.
Let's go. I don't know, man. This update's kind of interesting here. Just about halfway through this live stream. Oh no, man, I think those executions are pretty interesting. Going with the bow. I like that spectral bow. Definitely thinking about pairing that up with the Peacekeeper skin. I don't know, man. Ubisoft is cooking. These guys are cooking. Literally, he has like a chef outfit on. It's kind of funny. I'm not really a Destiny fan though, but it looks alright. So this is Light of the Guardians event game mode. We got a new event game mode. Okay guys, okay. I'll be sure to make a summary of this live stream, kind of wrap up some of the more important parts, that type of thing. Should be starting soon.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's so good to see you and to also not be wearing a mask anymore because that was a little uncomfortable there, but it's okay.
It was making me very uncomfortable.
It was making you uncomfortable too. Oh man. Well,
I can't. I won't be able to sleep tonight. The whole thing. It's crazy.
Well, fair enough. All right. I guess it's worth something then. All right.
Oh yeah.
Happy Halloween, folks. Hey, listen, chat real quick before we jump into this. We've seen a few comments about whether the new hero skins are time limited. They are not. So, right, I said that one right. Yeah, they are not. So, yeah, just don't worry about that. But please play the game mode, which is going to be time limited, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the details of that. And who better to do that than our Lord and Savior JC? Welcome back, sir.
Hello, hello.
Couch. I'm sorry for scaring you earlier.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I think I'll have to take some medication.
Just take.
Should be good.
You need some time.
I'll need some time, and I'll be good.
I don't want to bother that. So, okay, deep breaths. But also joining me on the couch is Felix. Felix, welcome to the Warriors Den.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. Now, Felix, this is actually your first time with us on the Den.
It is.
Do you want to maybe tell the audience a little about yourself? How long have you been with For Honor?
I've been on For Honor for about 10 years now, working for events for about 5. So, yeah, all the Halloween events, stuff like I've been working on. This one too, which I'm going to be talking about. So
Felix is a living definition of long time, first time.
I know,
right?
yeah. I feel like it's more of a crime that you haven't been on the show up until this point. So I'm really glad we could rectify that today. Because, yeah, you have had a hand in so many of our events over the past, and this one included. So I'm very happy you're here to talk about it today and explain a bit more about it. So... but yeah, let's dive into it. What can you tell us about Light of the Guardians?
Yeah, so it's a game mode event, time limited, 3 weeks.
Here we go.
The way it works is it's kind of like a PvPvE event, right? So you have 2 teams of 4 players fighting to win the match, getting points like usual. We're gonna go into a bit more detail, but essentially, it's in a cathedral map. There's minions blocking the entrances, so the scorn minions are blocking them. So you have to fight them a little bit to be able to get to the center where there is a scorn baron, where you have to defeat him, and when you defeat him, you get a ton of points on your team. So in a gist, that's what it is. Usual rules apply, right? The highest score wins. You can get into breaking, all that sort of stuff. But really, we did something super unique and really different with that boss there. That is harder to fight than other kind of like bosses that we've done like this before. A lot more reactive.
Yeah, bro.
Super interesting. But Felix, you can go into a bit more of a detail.
Oh, look at these minions.
Yeah, sure. So the point system is minion based. There's capture points. You make points by damaging the Scorn Baron. So they've been holding the cathedral there. So they've been holding all the entrances have been blocked by minions. So if you want to go in, you'll have to wipe them down. So if you have
got to get the
character
execution.
that's good for wiping minions. It's good to maybe enter first for your team to swoop in if they want. There's a side entrance that's going to be open for maybe a more stealth approach. If you want to challenge the boss on your own, that's on you, because it's thanks to Costa, we've been working on like making it a bit more challenging. Of course, it's a bot, so people are gonna use it as they want. But for the average player, it's gonna be more of a challenge.
Yeah, it's a bit harder than the other kind of bots that we've done for.
Yeah.
So we're kind of similar to this. Yeah.
So some of these strategies, of course, like if you don't want to fight a boss, there's always capture point. You can always roam around, look at the beautiful map.
I solo Guardian, bro.
And you know, if you want to challenge the boss, take your team, go in, swipe the minions, and try to control this area because the other team's gonna want to do the same.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to do as much point as possible, you have to, control the other team, but make sure that they don't get the last hit on that boss. Because if that boss dies,
it's a berserker. That's crazy.
So it means that you can't just think that you'll be able to farm it on your own.
You do get renown. You get points and you get renown while you're hitting the king, right? So it doesn't really go to waste.
No.
It's just that you get a big bonus when you actually land the killing blow. Yeah.
Nice. Well, very cool. Well, let me get
interesting game. Like it's really different. It feels different.
Yeah.
It feels fresh. Like with the minions, the addition of the minions there that are a bit more static, right? So they're there to really block the entrances that I was talking about earlier.
Hey, yo, look at his shirt,
they
bro.
They really feel like a small wall that you have to break through to get in. The respawn as usual.
Yes.
And like the point system is different, right? Like there's a lot more points you need to get to win.
Yeah, exactly. So you get points for by damaging the Scorn Baron, but it's 1-to-1. So if you're doing 18 damage on the boss, you get 18 points. So we've raised the limit from 1,000 to 3,000.
Oh wow!
Means that everything else is getting a lot more points. It's a bit more like different to calculate how much you need to win, but it'll go fast. Like it's a faster Dominion. And it's like it's been a while since we did PvP for Halloween. So
yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah, and if you're curious, like the side, because there's points on the side, right, of the map. So when you're playing, if you're wondering like, oh, what's the point of it? Because they don't give as much points as killing the Scorn Baron. They don't give as many points as when you're hitting him, but you can actually go heal there, and they actually contribute to like soft points, right, in the minions. So like when you control them, you actually can get a little bit higher. There can still be reversals, all that sort of stuff that we normally have, but it's really like more focused on the PvPvE. And what I find always interesting in that in that type of game mode is that there's a boss that's gonna run around, hit everybody, just do like crazy things, and you have to decide: do I focus on the boss? Do I kill the other? Do I try to join in and kill the other team? Then you don't know if he's gonna turn against you. It's very chaotic. But at the same time, it feels super interesting.
It's like going after the Guardian.
Right? And it's a Berserker base. So it has all the Berserker's normal moves, crazy dodge attacks, all that sort of stuff. So it's still very, very good and very strong. It feels really different and it's super unique. It's super fun. We had a lot of fun playing it. We played tested it for a long time.
Yes.
It was amazing, super fun.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Nice. And again, like there was a lot of work that was put into that map too. Is there any
cathedral
hidden in there?
Yeah, like Marina said a bit earlier, like if you want to explore the map, like find some nook and crannies that maybe you'll find some special things.
You might have hidden some things.
Yeah.
You'll be rewarded. For exploring. So that's
have
cool.
some fun. Hit the boss. Try to hit the boss.
Yeah.
For yourself, and then
all that stuff. All right. Well, super cool. Well, thank you so much, Felix, again for coming on the day. We hope to see you back here, in the future, with us. So we'll have to make sure that happens.
I just might.
Yeah. Well, good. All right.
All right.
All right. It's settled then. There we go. All right. I definitely make those decisions. So that's great. Okay. So that's about it. So, folks, don't forget Light of the Guardians. It's live starting tomorrow with the new title update. It's there for 3 weeks. So hop in, play, enjoy. So it's going to run from October 24th through November 14th. So ton of fun, lots of good stuff. Remember,
it's live tomorrow.
Though, so just
Let's go.
at your leisure.
Definitely going to be
And
live
also,
streaming For Honor,
like,
guys.
just to add really huge props to Felix, who's sitting here with us, but also a lot there. I know Costa on the design team was spearheading the whole thing, did a wonderful job. Everybody from we had a lot of support from from animation, from all the departments. Again, this is it's a team effort. Everybody can pitches in. We've seen Marina before. We've seen a lot of people that come in and do a lot of really important work to get these things to work. And it's great. And also really thanks to our friends at Bungie, on the Destiny team. They really helped us refine, define all of these things. We had a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth with them, but we ended up with something that feels unique, that's really different, and it's super fun to play.
Yeah, we've been out of our comfort zone a bit with the setting, and Bungie has been really good with us to make that reality.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Super cool. Cool. Well, thanks again, guys. And folks, Warriors, stick around because coming up next, we're going to be back to talk about the recent Friend or Foe tournament that just wrapped. So got some interesting things to discuss there. So don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, folks. What an endless myriad of guests we've had on today. Join with me today, once again, Arnold, JC. How you guys doing?
I've never been here before.
Never?
I always make that joke, and it's always kind of falls flat. But I figured I'd redo it again because
I liked it.
I have my fans. I get love letters, all sorts of things. So it's great. So
popular guy. What can we say? So yeah,
he's him. So we're here to give everyone a little update on the Friend or Foe circuit. So we've just wrapped up phase 2 of the Friend or Foe circuit, which was a 2v2 tournament. Thank you to everyone who participated, and a big congrats to our winning team, Stormina La Ballerina. The finals were super intense and fun to watch, thanks to our casters, Vivid Naz and Verbalocity, and shout out to Freeze too, who's our analyst. A big thank you to our TOs, Nutella and Spaniard, who always crush it. We love you guys. And we also had Norgaz make an awesome recap video, which if you haven't seen it, go check that out. It's super sick. Big thank you. And we also had a bunch of different casters on for the open and closed qualifiers. We had four open qualifiers, and I got there, and a closed qualifier, and we had a bunch of different casters for all of them. So shout out to all of you. The list is long, but it's awesome. I love seeing the community involvement with everyone. So thank you. It's awesome. But looking ahead, we have 1v1 coming up, which will be kicking off soon. Signups are open, but if you are playing in 1v1, you might be facing off against the #1 duelist in the world, Mr. Bean. This man tore up the last duel tournament we did. You'll be able to see the final round here.
He's pretty good.
He's all
Pretty
right.
good.
He's
Yeah.
all right.
I've had the pleasure of watching him in person, and I don't know how he does it. I really have no idea, but he's that amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome. So signups are now open for this. The tournament will be kicking off December 14th, I believe. Signups should be being dropped in the chat. The chat is this way, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it that? Is it that way or it's JC's
JC's
way?
Depending from a mobile, it's down.
Is it down?
Yeah.
There's a
JC's
chat
chat.
somewhere. In
I don't know.
this room,
The chat somewhere.
so- Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, sign up. It won't be for a little while, but go get your spot because spots go pretty quick. And be sure to join the Discord to be able to get any updates. And yeah. So I wanted to take a look at some of the hero pick data across the past two tournaments, or for 4v4 and 2v2. So would love to get your thoughts, Jason.
All
why don't
right,
you take it
lots of
away?
cool things. So let's look at first for the 4v4 close out qualifiers, right? So here we have like it's a big list. It's interesting, right? Because like you see, we have Orochi and Pirate on top. Pirate is always like a polarizing character in that she's extremely strong in group fight modes, right? So in brawls and in 4v4s, but then in duels, she's a lot weaker. It's interesting to have these kind of like almost specialists in the game, which is pretty cool. Orochi's there. There's a lot of stuff, but that was pre-nerfs. We have no more nerfs coming today. I don't know much about it, but
Spoilers.
But yeah, so it's interesting here because even the pick rate for like some of these heroes, right? Like Griffin, who would have thought we could see Griffin on top 4 in these modes before, right? So that is coming from a very small buff we've done a while ago, which we made his front dodge light enhanced, and it changed and opened up the hero like it's nobody's business. So it showed that sometimes like we just need like little tiny tweaks, and it gets heroes to get in a much better spot. So that's amazing. I'm super happy. I'm psyched that there's a Peacekeeper in there. Yeah, it's one. Still, there's a Peacekeeper there. There's 2 Nushas. It should make Nolan super happy.
Best girl
right?
Nusha.
So that's
Twice
great.
as many as Peacekeeper.
That's great. But yeah, so there's a lot of differences, a lot of stuff. But you see, there's definitely a trend for the top here. But it makes a lot of sense for me. It's all of our top Dominion heroes, all of our top 4v4 heroes. Makes total sense. Not to say that things are okay necessarily exactly in that spot. We're always looking for balancing, but at least this makes a lot of sense on my end.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's look at the banned heroes, right? So, yeah, Rangengard is massively banned. Hitokiri is like second there, probably contributes to the fact that Hitokiri was not super picked, basically because there's a lot of bans. So these are all heroes that we're also looking at balancing wise, but this also makes a ton of sense, right? So the top 4 being banned makes like 100% sense. Shinobi a little bit less, like we've been changing things around for Shinobi a bit, but still understandably like there's a lot of stuff that makes Shinobi a very, very good team fighter. Yeah. That's great. Griffin, I was initially surprised, but then you saw that like super high rate, so kind of makes sense. But Nusha, I wonder who was playing Nusha. I don't have the data, unfortunately, but I wonder who was playing Nusha.
I want to know. I want to know who banned Nusha. Like who did that?
Not to say, because here's the thing, right? Nusha is when you go look at 1v1s, especially at like the top, she's extremely strong. That's how she was designed. But in 4s, she's not necessarily the best performing hero, but still, this is really interesting to have there.
Yeah,
really cool.
Sure.
So good.
All right, now let's have a look at the 2v2, also known as brawls. So the pick rate there is, again, you see Pirate extremely high. I think Pirate is even better in brawls than in 4s. So even then, like again, it kind of speaks to like almost like a specialist type of hero. This comes also after the nerfs we've done to Berserker and Orochi. Where their side dodge attacks are no longer enhanced. So it makes a big difference where hers still are. So it makes a big appearance there. But even then, when you look afterwards, like we have Hito that's there. Like that's not really a surprise. Griffin that's there. That was a surprise, but now it makes a bit more sense. Varengard, that again like was banned a lot, so but still shows up quite well. So we've built like Varengard specifically, we built her to be like an anti-meta pick with like those big trajectories hitting people externally. She's there to counter that specifically. So that's super interesting. But again, there's like a lot, like the pick rate is huge. Like the amount of players of different characters that were picked, like even though Pirate and like some of the top are like very, very much picked, but that there's that much diversity. There's 2 gladiators in there, 2 conquerors in there. Like it's crazy how varied this goes. And for me, this speaks a lot to how much more balanced the game is. Yes, there's a lot of tier lists, and you see like some characters are super high and some characters are pretty low. But if you compare those tier lists to what we had years ago, like maybe even 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That tier list is way more squished, meaning that, yeah, there's still like S and A and B and C tiers. But the difference between A and B and C is a lot, like it's a lot more minute.
Yeah.
Right? So this kind of, and this is how this gets shown the most, is you see these massive pick rates. If we had these tournaments before these changes, before we had like a lot more focus on the balancing side of things, it would have been 4 to 5 heroes, and that would have been it, right? So I'm extremely happy that we have this wide of viable hero picks, and that someone goes, hey, you know what? Like I'm gonna play Gladiator in this. Like just tells me, okay, well then it's good, right? It doesn't mean that Gladiator is in a good spot. I don't want to go in there and say this is the best balanced hero we've had, but at the same time, that there's people that can go and voluntarily pick a hero that is known to be potentially underperforming in some situations, shows that like things are a lot better in general and in a much better state than we were. So for me, that's super awesome. There's hidden gems there. Like I'm not seeing any peacekeepers here, which she's very good at peeling. So potentially when you're in 4s, there's more of those situations that are going to be happening. But she has amazing recoveries, like a lot of good stuff going on. So I'm expecting we'll see potentially more and more and more of these. So that's great. And then 2 wardens, but that usually makes a lot of sense there as well.
Definitely seeing like such a wide range of picks.
Yeah,
the top level is
crazy.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's flabbergasting, borderline to me that we have like this much. So it's really great. Then like for the banned list, right? So hanging guard again, Hito Nobushi here, right? So Nobu is another hero that is like extremely good in group fights, but is not very good in ones. So seeing her banned here, especially in brawls, she's extremely good. Like a lot of really good cleave. That's great. Same for Hito, has a lot of good cleave. Guard like is super strong at stopping people, so she can just sit back in a group fight and be able to like counter some of the stuff that you're gonna be doing. So it's always dangerous. You're always scared. But see, this speaks to Pirate is super good, but usually if you can't pick Guard, you're gonna pick Pirate. Right? So Pirate was banned a little bit, but that's kind of how it goes. And the other heroes, like they're almost all the same, but it kind of makes sense here with a lot of like how that kind of works in his ban. So it's super interesting.
Awesome.
All right, so
I did want to ask, do you have any predictions for 1v1? Like which heroes will be most played? I know Beans Warden is a
so
crazy.
I think like a lot of the time, like what's going to be interesting here is that whoever's going to end up playing against Bean has to decide, do I ban his Warden or his Zafira? And they're both extremely strong. Like Bean's Warden it amazes me how somebody can pick like our base hero, right? That is meant to have, like, we've been trying to build in depth for that hero with having a limited move set, because he's a hero that most players pick up when you start. You don't want to get like crazy overwhelmed with like, you know, like you have to look at his move list and it's like this high and you can't really understand it. But that's interesting to see somebody that is able to master that hero that consistently.
For sure.
On the other hand, is Zafira's.
It's a double-edged sword. You're if you're going against Bean, it's gonna be tough.
Right. But outside of this, I think that like I'm hoping we'll see more Nusha, right? Nusha, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I know you.
I am too.
You really love Nusha.
I really do. Yeah.
The thing is, like, Nusha has been built in a way that is designed as she's extremely strong against players with really good reactions, but at lower levels, she's not as effective, and that is very much on purpose. The way traps function was to make it so that, like if you're playing against her and you're not like, you know, you have a hard time, you're probably better off like letting those heavies go and whatever. But the higher level you go, the more risky it is to play against Nusha, because you never know if she's gonna trap. You can't react to the traps. The speed that they are at right now, they're unreactable for absolutely everybody. So you always have to kind of like, oh, what's gonna be happening? What's going on? So I'm kind of hoping and expecting to see a bit more Nusha in ones because of that power level, right? And she still does like a ton of damage when traps land and stuff. So there's a lot of good things going on there. I'm psyched about this. Probably gonna see some Ocelotla as well. Like a bunch of different heroes in ones. There's a lot more viability in 1v1s as well. Some heroes are like a bit lower, like Pirate we're mentioning, Nobushi. Probably won't see those. but there's a lot more at the top that makes sense to have a lot of variety there as well. So I'm super excited to see this.
Awesome. Well, thank you both very much for coming on and breaking all this down.
And good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see that tournament go.
It's gonna be great. Folks, you heard it. Go sign up, have fun. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But stick around. We've got patch notes coming up.
I wonder what those are about.
I know.
I'm not sure.
So those might affect the next
We're gonna
tournament.
patch some notes and then
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some changes.
I'll get the tape.
Okay. All right. Get the tape.
Go get the.
All right.
Welcome back, Warriors, once again. Joining me on the couch for Patch Notes for the first time today is just... Oh, wait, no. No, like... Sorry.
I'm just appearing out of it.
just appearing. No, JC, thank you so much for sticking around to talk more about Patch Notes.
I'm very happy to be talking about Patch Notes.
You
I love
are
Patch
always
Notes,
happy to talk about Patch
and
Notes.
I always feel bad because I always see people in chat asking for Patch Notes earlier. And I'm like, but we have so much cool content to show you people.
So you get them when you get them.
Exactly, right? But at the same time, I understand, right? I'm happy to be talking about some things today, so that's going to be interesting.
There's some exciting stuff. We have the tournament coming up, too, so this might
One thing to talk about super quickly before we get into this was testing grounds, right? So I mentioned a bit earlier that we're discussing. So we had a testing grounds earlier in this season, which focused on Warden's feats.
Right.
So I just want to reiterate, like, it went really well, by the way. Like, we got a lot of good data. We got a lot of good stuff. We know where we're going to be heading. Those changes are going to make it live in the next season.
Oh, sweet.
So that's great.
Awesome.
We're going to have another testing grounds there with one hero again. But we're hoping to see if we can, like, expand that a little bit. Again, we're doing tech tests, right? So a lot of what we're doing with this is, like, it was our first time doing feats. So it went well. We've ran into some hitches in the background. That kind of always happens. So we were trying to make sure that we don't run into those problems again, as you are well aware of.
I'm a little aware of them, yes.
But yeah, so but I'm like the next one. I'm super psyched about as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, It's gonna be cool.
All right, so then let's talk about patch notes themselves for season 31 title update 2.
Woo.
First up, a global change.
Ooh,
right?
That's a big one.
So yeah, so throw victims are now fully invulnerable to guard break for the duration of the throw. So what we had was a bit of an inconsistency where when you guard broke somebody and then threw them, depending on the throw itself, depending on the direction of the throw, depending on a bunch of different things, you could get guard broken out of while you were being thrown. And it really depended on a bunch of different factors. A lot of it was like an old process and an old like way of doing things when we launched the game where a lot of it was about the visuals and can you get guard broken at specific times.
Yeah.
So we've gone back and just put it all guard breaking vulnerable for the entire duration of the throw.
Nice.
It makes a lot more sense. And then you can no longer kind of get interrupted for these things. So it kind of makes a lot of sense here. So it probably won't feel super major, but it's one of those good things that standardizing them is great and it feels good. And you're not going to get like weirdly guard broken out of a throw.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt weird.
Good quality of life.
Yeah. Then we have Aramusha. So this might seem like a small thing, but Ring the Bell can now be target swapped. So essentially, it was almost more of a bug fix, but we wanted to mention it because it is a change for Aramusha where you couldn't really like you couldn't target swap ring the bell basically. So if it was happening on somebody, it made our Musha a little bit clunkier.
Okay,
in the
that
fights.
change there makes a lot of
It
sense.
doesn't have the best reach
Because
so
I
we're
would guard
looking
break
at,
some
like,
people
how can we
sometimes and
improve
try and
this
throw
also in the
them,
future.
and then
But at
somebody
least
else
for
will,
now,
you know,
if you're
try and
close enough
guard
to
break them.
somebody and there's not a lot of
So that helps out a lot.
You can target swap ring the bell and hit other people, and it works quite well. It's pretty interesting.
Nice. All right.
Next on Varangian Guard.
Got
So
some patch notes.
2 changes. Two. So
Just 2.
first is the changing timing from blocked light openers to light finishers is now 300 ms, up from
Bro, I
200.
can't stand Varangian.
So that again is almost more of a bug fix, but I want to mention it again because it's very important. Because it's one of those things that can lead to frustration when fighting against this hero, right? So because your lights are enhanced, when you block them, if Varangian Guard like threw another light, you could not dodge the second light. So
Yeah.
that creates like it kind of goes against the rules that we normally have in game, where if you get hit by a light, you can always dodge the following light. After heavies, it's a bit of a crapshoot. It kind of depends, but light to light, it should always be dodgeable. So that was a bit of an issue here. That should make the hero like at least a bit easier to fight against and give her a little bit less pressure. But then the second line, which weapon trajectories were adjusted to better match weapon visuals, is a big one.
Yeah.
You can go see the patch notes when they're out. You're gonna get the exact.
Thank
full
you. They
list
patched
of
her.
everything we've
Thank
tweaked.
you, bro.
We've tweaked like the vast.
They finally
majority
nerfed her.
of her weapon trajectories. On Varangian Guard, they're smaller for like I would say like 95% of instances. All the ones that matter, they're a little bit smaller. They match the weapon better. They don't reach out as far. So they're going to be easier to dodge. They're going to hit people less externally.
I bet people are going to start
So
playing her less
just
now.
kinda, like makes it so that we know the hero is tricky right now. She's very strong, very frustrating for a lot of players. This is
Extremely
like part of what
frustrating.
makes her frustrating. So by fixing this, we're hoping that at least it'll lower that level of frustration.
Yeah.
Yes, she still has her full block. Yes, she still has all those follow-ups, and it immobilizes people for a
That's
long time.
fine, bro, but
That's very much on purpose.
make that
it's
light
made it so
attack
that you can
chain less
block
annoying,
against multiple
please.
people, have time to pick the target you want to do your follow-up on. That's the base design of this hero.
It's just going to light
you kinda
attack
have
you
to keep it
into the
this way,
full
otherwise
block,
you break
bro,
the
every
entire
time. And
functionality.
it's so annoying to
This
deal
is what
with.
makes her unique. But at the same time, we can address the things that make her more frustrating and that kind of change things around.
I'm down for that change.
So that is for Varangian Guard.
Good change.
Next up, we have Sohei. So this is one part of something. There's more coming in the next patch for Sohei. We've been trying to really look at, like, yes, there's some potential easy wins. This is more of a bug fix, but overall, he's underperforming. We know we're looking at things. We're trying to see like, what we can do. And by the next patch, we're going to have more to announce on Sohei. There's a couple more things that will be happening. But for now, there was one big outstanding bug with Sohei, which was Soul Tetsubo, which is the top light in chains, the one that uses a Tetsubo. And it fed 30 revenge instead of dealing, I think, like 9, which is how much it should be feeding, right? So the idea here is normally when you hit somebody, you feed them revenge equal to the damage you've dealt to them, unless it's a bash. And then in which case, that always deals 30, right? So that it kind of makes bashes, like even though they don't deal direct damage, they feel more revenge. So you're less incentivized to use bashes in group situations and moments that you can feed revenge. But there was a bit of a bug here where this was like, there was like an issue here. And so because of this, throwing that top light would feed 30. But the thing is, like it's undodgeable, so it's not like you can't really dodge it, so it's not so bad. But still, it fed so much revenge that it made the character even harder to use in group fights. So that's a fix now. There's more coming in the next season. Don't worry, we know, we've heard everybody. It makes sense, but we're looking at it to make sure we're gonna be good to go in the future.
Nice.
Next, we have Orochi. So Orochi's Storm Rush left and right sides are no longer undodgeable. That is a big, big, big nerf to Orochi.
Yes.
But at the same time, so here's the thing, right? So when you're at super high level, Orochi is not like having Storm Rush the way it was is not the end of the world. A lot of players are able to kind of block it or parry it on reaction. That's okay. But when you are not at the top level, you don't have, like I'm on energy drinks all day long, playing in like, popping pills or whatever.
Sure.
But
Caffeine pills.
caffeine pills. I must. Yeah. Right. So, but when that's happening, right? Like you don't.
Nah,
have
he
the
talking about
reaction
them
time.
perkies.
And so even though the official counter to this, to an Orochi like spamming Storm Rush is just to hit light and to light him out of it.
Yeah.
We've purposefully like had that bit of a gap there to make sure you could interrupt him. At the same time, it is not very clear to a lot of players. It's not super obvious that the timing is there. You have to buffer that light. It's not always easy.
Bro.
So to kind of counteract
that
this,
move
we've only
is so
left unblockable
reactable.
on the top, which means that there's more than one way to counter Orochi.
They did not
Makes
need to
them a little
nerf
bit
it.
more predictable, because if you as a player think they're gonna go top because they don't want me to dodge, it makes that a lot easier to parry.
Wait a minute, wait a
or rely
minute.
on a read, right?
Storm
So
Rush
if you
is now
can't react to that
dodgeable?
animation, parrying on a read is it can be efficient, and in this case, if you know they're gonna go top, if you've read that they're gonna go top and they go top, it should be a lot easier to parry, because you have to align yourself a little bit less on the timing. So that's like a big change for Orochi here.
Dang,
We're
bro.
looking to see like how that's gonna go, but usually this should be like a good.
Finally,
target nerf.
that Storm Rush is so annoying.
Now Kyoshin,
It
so
can
we've
be.
adjusted the weapon trajectories to better match weapon visuals. In Kyoshin's case, is the opposite of Varangian, where his trajectories were generally bad. Well, their trajectories, I'm sorry. They were pretty bad. Now they are actually much better. They match the weapons a lot better.
I gotta test
They can
this
hit
all out
externally a
tomorrow,
lot better.
guys.
So it makes a lot more sense for Kyoshin. I know like the hero was having a lot of issues in team fights where like you would try to do like side attacks and wouldn't really hit people. Now this has been addressed, so it should work a lot better and really help Kyoshin in that respect to be able to defend themselves like way more better in group fights.
Nice.
Hitokiri, again, weapon trajectories were adjusted.
Dang,
to
a lot
better
of
match
changes
visuals.
here.
And a lot of these
to weapon
cases for Hito,
trajectories.
they've been lowered, especially in the side heavies. Again, the full list of these are in the patch notes. But really, like the idea here is we had to nerf Hito's side trajectories because they were a bit too strong. They're able to hit too many people externally. We also know there's the issue of the forward movement that's a bit too high that we're looking to address as well, in chains especially.
Yeah.
But the idea here is like we need to make this a little bit less frustrating. Hito is overperforming by all of our metrics. We have to kind of act. This is step one. We have more stuff coming down the pipe. But really the idea is like it's a step one, see where that goes. And I'd rather we go, because there's two ways we can approach balancing, right? There's we take the nuclear option, take a hero and bury them, right? And we've done that in the past once or twice because we had to. In this case, the hero's overperforming. I'd rather we take this approach where we do like step by step, address it over time, because otherwise we tend to, and because it's a lot easier to just like nerf him to the ground, but then it makes the hero kind of borderline unplayable. It's not really fun.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like lower it, like take him down a peg a little bit, until you get to the point where okay, this is good. This is where it needs to stand balance wise.
Right.
So this is what we're doing here. But there's more changes coming to Hitoki. We have more in stock. But for now, like let's see how this goes, and then we'll readjust accordingly.
Awesome.
Yo, 9 times out of 10,
Lawbringer.
when you're
So-
fighting a Hitokiri,
Big
I know,
they're
I
just
know
throwing out
I've
heavies.
seen comments on Reddit.
It's so
from
annoying.
people saying this is all Lawbringer needs. So if you're expecting roll catchers, I can officially announce they're coming next patch.
Side
Next
dodge
season,
shoves
they're
now
coming.
move in the
But
direction
this
of the
is
dodge.
the other part of the puzzle that we had a bit of a trouble
Okay,
with.
okay.
So I'll just recap super quickly what's going on here. Is that Lawbringer on his side dodge bashes, right? He uses a shove animation.
Yeah.
The movement that he has is super linear. So when you would side dodge into a shove, you would kind of stop, then go front.
Yeah.
And when we give iframes, which is basically it makes yourself invulnerable while you're doing those attacks, if that happens on super linear attacks, it looks really, really, really bad. And I know that sometimes we're like, I don't care that it looks bad, but at the same time, seeing a full axe or a full pole axe or whatever completely phase through, really it looks like it hits. Like it's not like there's a bit of movement, you can kind of guess, okay, like he kind of moved out of the way. It just phases through entirely. It looked really, really bad.
Right.
But to kind of counteract this, we've made it so that the side dodge shoves specifically have more forward movement in the direction of the dodge. So if you're dodging right, when you do that shove, you're going to move more towards the right. Or when you move left, you're going to move more towards the left, which affords us the luxury, which is kind of like not really luxury, but whatever, to give those attacks actual iframes and dodge frames, which is what is super important, right? So this is a massive, massive, massive quality of life for Lawbringer. But basically, yeah, so the idea here is that because beforehand, if you're playing a Lawbringer and you want to do a side dodge shove and not break your iframes from your dodge, you had to delay that shove until the very, very end so that your iframes could kick in, you would avoid an attack, and then you would shove. And so this is kind of like against what all other heroes except for Conqueror kind of do, which is like you need to be able to do your dodge attacks properly. They're a lot more vulnerable now. It doesn't chain on miss. There's like all those things that we've put in place to make dodge attack weaker, but then Lawbringer's side dodge shoves were even weaker than the rest of the cast. So this is a big, big, big change. Really helps the hero. It makes a lot of sense. Conqueror, exact same problem, exact same solution. Works well for Lawbringer. Works great for Conqueror.
Nice.
Again, it's a nice buff for Conqueror here. You'll be able to like do a side dodge shield bash. Again, a bit more forward movement, sidewards movement actually on the side of the dodge, and you're good to go. Perfect stuff.
Yep.
Not gonna spend like 6 hours on this again. Shaman. So for Shaman, Wildcat's Rage, Predator's Hunger, and Predator's Mercy are now performed 100 ms to 500 ms during the front dodge and back dodges. Yeah. That used to be 2 to 5. So there's 2 parts to this. One of them is we want to give the hero like a bit more viability from her front dodge and her back dodges, and having like the change, like going into those attacks a bit earlier, gives her better options. We've seen it on Warden, on Warmonger. We've had like this different dodge bash going to that. But also, this means that on a heavy parry against a bleeding opponent, Predator's Hunger, I think. I always forget which one it is. The one that bites, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm getting old and my brain is not working so right. I need to go to a reading center. But anyway, so when that happens is like it's guaranteed on a bleeding opponent. You will bite them on a bleeding opponent, which leads to like a big damage trade-off, right?
Right.
This is on purpose. We'll see how that ends up going. We'll see if it's too strong or if we're okay. On the design side, because it's conditional, because your opponent needs to be bleeding, yes, it does buff her 1v1. It buffs her group fight a little bit as well, because if she managed to parry a heavy, she can do it. But it's very, very much intentional. We'll be seeing, again, how this pans out, if it's too strong, if it isn't. Shaman is not an overly picked hero. We know her 1v1 is like doesn't really need help. Yeah. We're investigating how we can improve her 4v4 as well, which should be good. But this is kind of like part of this here, where I want to make sure that people don't think that it was unintended. It was very much intended to have that functionality here. It's conditional, won't happen all the time, but this is where it kind of goes.
Nice.
And then we have Ocelotla. I know you like to pronounce it properly.
Ocelotla.
Ocelotla, right?
Ocelotla.
Raphael was going to be really, really happy with it.
We do it for you, Raph.
Yeah. So, one line, big
Yeah,
change.
that's a big one.
Skull Smash, which is his bash in chains,
right.
No longer chains on miss. So, the attack is a lot more commitful. You have, it's a lot like easier to kind of punish. Because part of the problem here was that also like it could do like
dang, bro, that sucks.
And then react to their opponent doing a side dodge. And if they do a side dodge attack, just go zone.
Yeah.
You pop your armor, trade with them, win the trade because you're doing more damage than a dodge attack is going to do, and then keep your offense.
That made his mix-up really
not only really frustrating to play against,
really good,
but it's
man.
also too strong to play as, especially because it's a very, very, very strong bash. It's feintable. It's like it had too many things going for it.
Yeah.
So by removing this, we're hoping that it'll kind of knock down the hero a little bit of a peg. We like the blender aspect of the hero. Right? It's kind of what it was designed around, about having a lot of different options at all times and doing like a lot of different
Ocelotto
things.
has real
But
good
at the same
mix-ups,
time,
man.
when these options become too strong, we kind of have to act and make them a little bit weaker. So that is what we've been doing this year.
They got to nerf this guy.
And that is it for our balance changes. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of cool things.
Very cool.
There's more coming.
Nice. We got some good patches here. Some good changes.
Again, like you might dislike whatever we're doing. It's okay. Say it. We have surveys coming out like most seasons.
Light of the Guardians starting tomorrow,
talk about
guys.
it. You can go on social media. You can do all these things, discuss these things, tell us what you like, what you don't like. Same for testing ground. Same as everything. Yep. We're doing these things for our players. We love our players. We're doing this for them, and hopefully everybody enjoys all the changes that we do.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
One more thing I wanted to add super quickly.
Yeah,
it's completely random, right?
Sure.
Okay. Before, remember on one of those segments before we had when we had Michel and Fred, we were talking about the VFX stuff, and we had shots of our mocap actors, and we saw Carl doing that flip. So these guys are professional stuntmen. Do not attempt this at home. Carl is known as kind of like the rubber man type of thing, where he can just do these insane things where he looks he's going to break his neck every time, because I'm at mocap every time. You're there as well.
Yeah.
We see that happening, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to die. Like one day something bad is going to happen. But they are all professional stuntmen. We're always employing like movie-trained actors. They're stuntmen. They do an amazing job.
They do, yeah.
Big kudos to them. The game would not be what it is without them.
Definitely not.
And I don't know, they might be watching. I don't know, but
I hope so.
they're great folks. Like honestly, we always have a super fun time with them. But really, please don't try those like standing flips and falling on your neck at home, because you're not gonna like the outcome.
That's right.
He's built for that by some I don't know what. But it's
the rest of
amazing.
us are not.
Yeah, the rest of us
we're
are not.
just not.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
but I wanted to give him a shout out because they're very, very special to us,
They
and
are.
we always enjoy our time with them. And really, thank you guys. It's amazing.
Well, great. I love it. Impromptu shout-outs to our
Impromptu
amazing
shout-out.
mocap team.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff there, so thank you for that. And JC, thanks to you as well, as always, for coming up and just helping to explain in detail all these notes, what they mean for the game. It's always very enlightening to have that, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Cool. Warriors, folks, listen up. We've got a wrap-up coming up right after this. Community Corner, lots of fun stuff to cap everything off, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here. We made it. We
did.
We're made it. We've made it. We're here at the wrap up.
That's right.
I'm.
How are you feeling?
We nerfed T2?
I mean, we kind of had to a bit.
Are you sure?
I mean, if JC said so,
All right.
Okay. Are you gonna be okay?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Well, let's maybe talk about this wrap up here. But listen, folks, as we think about this, listen, we really did want to take a moment to give a final big shout out to our friends over at Bungie. We're very excited to be doing this collaboration. So let's do a quick recap of everything coming tomorrow to you, the players.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do we got?
We've got, of course, the Light of the Guardians Halloween event. October 24th to November 14th. I love this gear. It looks so nice. Of course, that means we have our 2 hero skins for Lawbringer, the Violet King. We also have our hero skin for Centurion, the Crucible Lord. So good.
And not time limited.
No, those are not time limited. Nice. Don't forget, friend or foe 1v1 signups are now open. I actually checked. We have 10 signups already.
Oh, amazing!
Pretty
All
freaking
right.
sweet.
There you go.
We unfortunately, our balance patch live tomorrow. Don't want to talk about that. But we also have Hero Fests, which is very exciting for Griffin, Tiandi, and Yorm.
Nice.
All their respective dates. Love that. We also have Content of the Week.
That's right, we do. Yeah, so Content of the Week, folks, coming your way tomorrow. Available, first up, the illustrious outfit, Power of the Baron. Available for 20k steel, so really embody the Scorn Baron for any of the heroes on the roster. Enjoy that. Looks amazing. Such a cool head replacement on that one, so excited for that. We also have the Execution Void Feather, available for 10k steel across the cast, and the Solar Flare for 10k steel as well. All of these look incredible. Huge shout out again. for the collaboration, all the work, animation, VFX, audio, everything that went into that. Great job, team. So it's amazing stuff. 2, we also have community event orders. Reminder, Light of the Guardians running the entire duration of the event, so October 24th through the 14th. So again, just play. Just play the game and get exclusive rewards like that ornament we talked about, so it's very cool. And we have a weekly arcade quest starting tomorrow as well. Wolves from the Door, so you'll be able to check that out. Again, arcade available for everybody, so just jump in and play. It's awesome.
Awesome. That's not all. We also have some community corner.
Oh,
with Jet and Josh. Take it away.
What's going on, Warriors? Welcome to the Community Corner segment of the Warriors Den. We hope you've been enjoying the show so far. I'm Community Manager Josh, also joined with Community Manager Jet. Hey, man.
Hey there. How's it going?
Doing well, doing well. We're not dressed up or anything, but still happy Halloween to all you spoopy enjoyers. Hopefully, maybe next time we'll have a little something. I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and get into the clips that we have curated for this round, and we're starting off with Greater Agrippa.
Ooh.
Don't think she's making it out of that.
Oh, it's painful.
Still some of the best ragdoll I've seen in the game, though, for sure.
Yeah.
And then next up.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna end this here. This was most of the important stuff.
Properly. It's always nice to dance with the enemies, right?
Of course. Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of camaraderie.
Yeah, nothing bad would ever happen, right?
Interesting stuff coming on.
Yeah, well,
yeah, guys.
Pick the wrong place to dance, buddy.
Tough.
Wrong place to dance. This clip is from Dragonfire752.
Honor, all that.
Want to watch someone get banned into the Shadow Realm?
I'd love to.
See you guys in the next one.
And boom!
Ooh, you from existence.
Yo, you know for a fact.